Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 228. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my editor-in-chief, Mike.
Yeah, not so much though. I don't contribute that much, but we do have an editor-in-chief on the show today. The big Kahuna, the big cheese, Mr. Tom Brevoort is going to be on the show.
The real Captain Marvel.
The real Captain Marvel, yeah. So editor on a lot of things up at that little indie comic publisher known as Marvel Comics, and he is the vice president of publishing, I believe, is his actual title. So he's in the thick of it. Can't say that anymore though without that stupid TikTok song popping up everywhere.
This is why I don't have a TikTok. These are some of the parts of being an old man that's nice.
Yeah, well, even I don't have TikTok, but somehow it's gotten into my bubble. But yeah, so we got Tom on the show today. We're going to talk about all things Marvel with him. I'm very excited. And now Chris is very excited. I'm not even a huge Marvel fan, but this dude is a living legend, so it's gonna be a good day, Chris.
Yeah, you know, he was involved with a little book that I know you kind of like.
Yeah,
called Civil War.
Oh yeah, that's a little one. That's a little. Yeah, I mean we'll talk to him about it, but he's had a hand in a lot of stuff. So it's pretty cool to have him on the show today.
Yeah.
So you went to a con this weekend?
I did.
How was that?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a small con. I mean, it's hard to say because everybody's high school is different, but it was like a little bit bigger than the size of my high school gymnasium.
Oh, wow.
But they did a good job of getting... There was a decent amount of people. It never felt crowded.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I got to finally meet in person David Whalen, our good friend David.
Yep.
Shake his hand and get to talk to some people, sell some books, and... talk about Fortress Comic News as well. And yeah,
nice.
Wore a mask the whole time just because we're in a small enclosed area. I felt it was necessary.
I feel you on that. I mean, I think they've been making us wear it all over Albany. Yeah. I didn't go to a con, but I did go to a comic shop. Checked out, I've talked about them before. I always want to say Earthbound Comics. I can't think of the name though. Whatever. It's Earth something comics in Albany. The name will come to me, but stopped in there. They're right centrally located in the middle of Albany. Earth World Comics. And they're always cool people to talk to. Had to buy some books. Was chatting them up about comic books, this and that. They actually had an Invincible issue that I was looking for, which is hard to find nowadays. Issue 42. So it was just a weird, bizarre issue out of the 9 that I need. So he wrote a bunch of numbers on his hand and went into the back room. He's like, I think he's putting away some back issues today. Let me check. And he actually came out with it. So that's always nice, you know, to find a little hidden treasure. Yeah. It was funny. We were talking about books and I was like, yeah. What's the Radiant Black? I was like, Radiant Black's a really good book. He goes, I've been hearing that from a lot of people, but I see a lot of it on the shelves, and I'm like, that's interesting because I do too. And when you look around, like everybody's been talking about Radiant Black. I don't know if people just over ordered it or something, but it was like I picked up some more issues of it. But some of that, so there's a couple of barbaric of those. Have you seen the barbaric issues with there's a variant cover that's like in a plastic bag. I think Tim Seeley's doing them. Yeah, there was one of those there. I didn't pick it up, but they're very tempting when they do that because Sex Criminals used to do that too, right?
Yeah, Image in general did that a little while back where they took like key issues of different books and just like polybagged them.
I think the thing with Sex Criminals though was there was 1 or 2 actual sketch covers in those bags that you could pull out. So that was the fun about those. Yeah, just some cool stuff, you know, buying comics, reading comics. What more could you want, you know?
Yeah.
I watched a couple movies. Oh, I watched that new Netflix movie with Aquaman, Jason Momoa, called Sweet Girl.
Oh, okay.
It was okay. It has a big twist in the movie. I don't know if the twist really makes the movie better or not, but basically it's really depressing. Like his wife dies of cancer, and it's because like this. It's very like on the nose. The plot of the movie is like this. This pharmaceutical company is exploiting people. They're exploiting people because some politician took a bribe. Ends up that his wife dies, so he wants to kill all of them. Pretty much, that's like the plot of the movie. It's a little more depressing than that. It was okay. I mean, Netflix just has the money to like pump out these movies with like. I could have told you right now. I could have wrote the script for this movie. Like, you got a guy like Jason Momoa. The casting for his daughter and his wife. I think those actresses are like 9 years apart in real life, so the casting was god awful.
Yeah.
So first off, you have this woman that's supposed to be married to like Jason Momoa. He looks way older than her, and then she looks almost the same age as her daughter. I was like, this just looks off. But you can tell like someone just threw together this script in like 15 minutes, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's give it $10 million and make this movie. Like, put Jason Momoa in it and put it on Netflix.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because I was like reading up on a bunch of stuff on what Snyder's doing with his Army of Darkness cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And yeah, Netflix is just like, here's all the money, just keep making movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, okay, I enjoyed Army of Darkness, but it was definitely a step down from like Dawn of the Dead.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever be Dawn of the Dead. I still haven't watched Army of Darkness yet. I still need to, but I heard it was meh, so... But I feel like that's what Netflix has been pumping out. It's just a lot of meh.
It's enjoyable. Like, yeah. I think you'll enjoy it about as much as I did, but it's definitely no Dawn of the Dead. Like, his Dawn of the Dead was really good. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead's classic. And then I watched Green Knight, because you can rent that now. That was just in theaters a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Which, not an action movie. It's very indie and slow-paced. Kind of creepy. It's like if anybody wants to know what it's about, just look up The Tale of the Green Knight. It's an actual folklore tale from back in the day. So there's some like mystical and like weird shit happening in the movie. Sir Gawain, I think his name is. He's one of the knights, or he's actually the nephew of King Arthur. And he has to go on a quest after this thing happens with a Green Knight who shows up. The Green Knight is pretty much Swamp Thing. He's like this knight made out of like branches and twigs and shit. It was an interesting movie. It was definitely, I think A24 published it, produced it, so you could tell like that type of pacing and stuff. It was okay. I wouldn't watch it again. I wanted a little more. It was a lot of like him walking, like not like Lord of the Rings walking. It's like empty space walking, where like there wasn't really much to look at in the movie. But I will say I made the better choice, because when I went to the movies last month, it was either go see Jungle Cruise or The Green Knight. And let's say I'm glad I went and saw Jungle Cruise at the theaters.
Jungle Cruise does feel like more of the theater movie.
Yeah. And I still like, out of the 3 movies that I've watched recently, Jungle Cruise is still the best one, so I can't complain there. All right, you got any news? What's going on? Oh, did you watch What If this week?
Yeah. Not a lot of news on the entertainment front this week.
Yeah.
But, What If episode 2, not issue 2. So I think it's head and heels so much better than the first episode. And that's, we talked about it. I enjoyed the first episode, but it has its problems.
Yeah.
This one was way better. It told more of a story and less of a this happened and that happened. So it's what if T'Challa became Star-Lord.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. And I love how they took basically Star-Lord is just such T'Challa is such a positive person that he just changes the course of everything, from like convincing Thanos that the snap isn't necessary and to join the Ravengers. Yeah. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a better overall story. It ends on a cliffhanger, which was weird. So I almost wonder if we're going to get like another, like a part 2, which would be interesting. I'm down for that to happen. Yeah. And then there's a moment at the end. This isn't a spoiler for the story itself, but it just kind of goes to black, and it says like this episode is dedicated to Chadwick Boseman, blah blah blah. And I just started to get teary eyed. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's really sad stuff. Damn.
And it brought me back to that moment, and then, but it was like really cool that he was able to do the voice before he passed, because it just oozed with his passion.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
So what if is, if not the last, one of the last things he did before he passed away. So he actually has like other episodes he did. I don't know if he's the star of those episodes or not, but yeah, he did all the voicing for T'Challa and What If. So
nice. I didn't know it. That's interesting. I didn't know you got to do that. So that's cool.
So I do know this is the last thing recorded that we will get that's new. But I can't remember if this was like the last thing he did, or because obviously he did some indie movies and a few other little things.
Right. He was doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Which I found out. Did you know this, that before Chris Farley died, he pretty much voiced the entire first Shrek movie?
No, as Shrek?
Yeah, like it like if it wasn't Mike Myers, it was going to be Chris Farley. And I had heard that like it had gotten to the point where he had voiced most of the movie, and there's got to be a file somewhere with Chris Farley Shrek. Like, so
I've made it clear my opinion on like release the Snyder cut and release the Ayer cut and these like movements. If ever there was a movement that we need, it is release the Farley cut of Shrek.
Yeah. Like I'm so curious of like where is it today, and like what does he sound like?
The fact that I'm just hearing about this right now, August 22nd, 2021, and nobody has said we need to release the Farley cut of Shrek.
There are some. I will say right now, I just looked it up. There's a video on YouTube that says Chris Farley is Shrek, so they have like storyboards with his voice doing Shrek.
Well, that's what I'm doing tonight. But the fact that wasn't a movement and release the Ayer cut is a movement just proves that humanity is just done.
Right. What are you guys doing? But yeah.
Oh, that's dude.
There was something else too. Chris Farley was supposed to be someone else before he passed away, and I can't remember. It was some iconic character. I don't think it was Austin Powers. No, it was someone else.
No, because that's Mike Myers.
Yeah, that's Mike Myers' production company did that. I can't remember, but that new Eternals trailer, huh?
Yeah, you got a chance to watch it, right?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I think it was way more interesting than the first one.
Yeah, this is the first time, other than like, it's kind of a joke, but I was going to see Eternals even though I didn't care because it's a Marvel movie,
right?
And I'm just ingrained in this universe at this point. But this is the first time where I was like, "Ooh, this looks good."
Right? They actually like explained what the plot was. They're like, the first one, they're just like people sitting around a table making an Avengers joke, and everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah, and they kind of explain a little bit like why they didn't interfere before and this and that. Which is, I mean, I get it. Just throw in a quick line so that fanboys will shut up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're like, all right, they're being annoying.
And then we get the return of the Celestial, not Galactus, everybody, a Celestial.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
That's and is that the villain? Is one of the Celestials?
I'm thinking because they have the line in there that like when they were asked like, why didn't you help out with Thanos? And I forget the character, but she says like we were instructed not to. My feeling is that the Celestials are the ones that instructed them not to.
Okay, yeah, because you see a big bad like fighting, Angelina Jolie's character.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't surprise me down the line they try to do that. I would be shocked if they were the big bad for like this movie,
right? Because
that's like a Endgame style big bad.
Yeah, you don't really go any further than that.
Yeah, so I don't know about that, but seeing Icarus with like laser eyes running around, I was like, oh man, like this just looks good, and I'm excited now.
That's pretty cool.
And the costumes look better in this one too. Maybe it's just maybe they were doing all those shots that were like kind of motionless, or at least where they weren't doing anything and it just looked bad. But when he was running around like shooting laser beams at people, I was like, costume looks awesome. I'm down.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I still don't know what's Kit Harington doing in the movie. Is Jon Snow one of the Eternals?
Yeah, he's
or is he just like a dude that's in the middle of all the danger?
No, he's Black Sword or something like that. I forgot. I'm zoning on the name.
Oh, okay.
Now, he is one.
He is one of them.
One of them. Yeah, he's Jon Snow with a mask, is what he is.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, he's like, well, he has prior experience in sword fighting. Here you go, give him the spot.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump to this awesome interview with Mr. Tom Brevoort, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
And we're back.
Nice. So, I mean, what more do you want to know about the guy? He's there, and he's in all the books that you're reading. So,
yeah. I mean, go support Marvel.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, usually we're like, go to this link, go to this website. It's marvel.com.
Yeah. Well, go to tombrevoort.com. He's doing cool stuff there.
Go to tombrevoort.com. Check out his YouTube videos. Go to marvel.com, ? Yeah, so. All right, let's talk about, we do have some comic news this week, so that's always good.
Yeah.
Marvel has announced that Kate Bishop is returning to her own limited series. Shocking! Just in time for the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. This 5-issue series will bring back the hero to New York City from writer Marieke Nijkamp and artist Enid Balam. So this makes sense. They do this shit every time. When an obscure character pops up. I mean, DC does the same thing. And the only time we ever get a Shazam solo series, or like at least 6 issues, is when the next year a Shazam movie is coming out. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you like Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, this is your book, right?
Synergy, everybody. Yeah, I know people love Kate Bishop. I don't know, just not Hawkeye in general. Like even Clint's stuff, I'm just like, okay. For some reason, Hawkeye doesn't get to me,
right?
But then it's just like Green Arrow, and he's got like the boxing glove arrow.
Right,
I'm just like, let's do this, everybody.
I know. I don't know what it is about. Like they went to the gimmick arrows before Hawkeye did, or Hawkeye's too serious or something. Like
I don't know. I like him as like a supporting cast character, but I don't think I've ever picked up a solo book by his.
Yeah,
I have read the Matt Fraction book. Everybody
yes.
The fuck
down. Oh yeah, everybody chill. That's the best one. He's read it. Marvel's bringing a fan critic favorite series this fall. Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cinchetto's Daredevil will end with issue 36. Zdarsky has said in interviews that the series is coming to an end for now. This means that a new creative team will be announced for Daredevil, or it can mean that the current one will be relaunching the series with a new number 1, maybe even a new title. We know how much Marvel likes to do their all new, all now, new number 1s. So
yeah, that's why when Chip said I love Chip. When he says I know every creator says this, but seriously, we've been building up to this moment, and it's coming to an end. My feeling is that the whole Matt in jail thing is going to come to an end, because I can see where they're kind of crescendoing that, and it's getting kind of long in the tooth. And we're going to get a book probably by the same creative team, maybe called Daredevils.
Oh, okay.
That's my feeling, that we're going to get a team-up book with Elektra and Matt.
Daredevils, number 1?
That wouldn't shock me. That's where my money's at right now.
I mean, an issue 1 will sell way more than issue 36, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. If you haven't picked up Chip's Daredevil, though, it's phenomenal.
I do like some Chip Zdarsky, so... Marvel...
Shadow's art is just...
Oh, yeah. Yes. Marvel has announced that after the year-long War of the Bounty Hunters Star Wars event, there will be a 5-issue series coming out of the spin of it. Star Wars Crimson Reign will be written by Charles Soule and art by Steve Cummings. The series will follow Kira as she builds the criminal organization Crimson Dawn back up as a force across the galaxy. I'm guessing after that 5-issue series, something's going to be happening with another book. But
I have a feeling that after that 5-issue series, we're gonna skip to after Empire Strikes Back, or I'm sorry, no, we're currently after Empire, after Jedi, and we're finally gonna like get connective tissue.
With the that brings everything together.
Yeah, like I've been enjoying them going between the movies. It's fun. They've been doing some cool stuff, but like I've been waiting for like let's see what happens after the end of the Empire and everything. And bringing back Kira, like of course that's the part of Soul that everybody loved. So we got to bring that character back.
Yep. Substack. This is a new comic platform. Adds another heavy hitter to the list of comic creators. Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's KLC Press is live on the service and will launch their new series Vanish on the platform first before printing it at Image Comics. I just keep hearing more and more about Substack and more creators tweeting about Substack. I guess we'll just wait and see when it all starts happening, right? I mean, it almost seems too good to be true, but
yeah. So I did some like in the depth research, and by that I mean I gave Scotty Young money. So first, you can sign up as just like a mailing list thing.
Yeah,
just like be a part of. So if you're like I don't know, but you want to see what he's doing, and it'll tell you like what's going on, what we're planning, and everything, and then when stuff releases, and then maybe that's when you want to throw your money down. You can do that. But what I'm seeing is Scotty himself was just like, we're bringing back I Hate Fairyland. He goes, I'm not drawing it, but I got someone great to do it. And he showed like promo images, and it's phenomenal. And then we're also going to do these little mini cartoons that I'm going to collect later on at Image as well. But that's going to be the Substack stuff. We're going to get those. And then when I Hate Fairyland comes out of Image, you'll also get a PDF of that. And then it's just like Patreon. There's tiers. You could do like the ultra mega tier and get this, but it's cool. It's a cool platform. I'm down to check out even more.
Yeah, especially Donny Cates going to it now with Ryan Stegman. So
I'll probably throw Kids Love Chains Press my money too.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Brian Michael Bendis' DC exclusive contract has officially ended. That seems rather quick. While there's no news of Bendis leaving Justice League or DC in general, he's found a new home for his creator-owned imprint, Jinx World, at Dark Horse. Dark Horse will now be printing all the previous Jinx World comics collections and has announced a new series coming this fall. Bendis' Dark Horse move kicks off this November with a newly announced title called Joy Operations from Bendis and artist Stephanie Byrne, which is described as Akira meets Inception. Okay.
Stephen Byrne.
Oh, sorry, Stephen Byrne. Stephanie. I'm sorry, Stephen Byrne. So this whole Bendis thing with his contract's up at DC. I mean, not to disrespect Bendis in general, but like apart from, I mean, we got a cool Legion of Superheroes book, but that never really resolved. What did we get from all this?
We got a okay Superman run. Like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was COVID related or what, but they had all these big plans for him to do all this stuff, and then it kind of just like fell flat.
Yeah, and I'm actually mad that Legion fell through because I loved his Legion.
Yeah, like, I'm never gonna find out who the hell the Gold Lantern is.
Yeah,
like, how do you leave a book like that? You don't tell anybody about the most interesting character.
And I was actually like, I've been cutting back my poll list and moving more digital as well. And I was just like, I looked over, I'm like, I'm 4 issues behind on Justice League. Because I bought the new copy last week or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm 4 issues behind. So, like, do I care about this book? And it's not that I don't like it. It's just that, okay, like, I've read Bendis before, and this just seems like kind of standard Bendis.
And like, I thought he was the reason they were pushing the whole Naomi, like, part of the Justice League book.
Yeah. So I know that he was the last big exclusive contract they had that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And they're trying to move away from those because they're expensive.
Yeah.
And they need to make money now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think it's weird that they're doing that because you're seeing kind of a falling off of the like top tier creators. You have some guys like Jeff Johns who just loves DC and will never leave.
Right.
But like, and I don't know if this has to do with Grant's exit, but they're leaving too. And then what does Bendis do? Is he going to stick around? How long is he going to stick around? I don't know. And then who's your other like really great creator at DC?
Yeah,
I haven't seen Venditti do anything in a while.
I mean, Scott Snyder just said that he's going to Comixology.
Yeah, and
James Tynion's doing his own stuff now. Like
Tynion left. I think Joshua Williamson, what he's doing is fun. I like it.
Right,
and I think he's an up and comer. I think he's going to be a big name in the next couple of years. But like, he's not exactly that guy yet.
I mean, you got Tom Taylor doing Superman now, or he's doing the Son of Superman right now and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to say you have nobody. You do. You have Tom Taylor. Ram V's doing what I'm hearing is a great run on Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal.
I'm sure we could find more, but like we don't have those heavy hitters as much anymore.
You don't have someone like Grant Morrison coming out with a book and they know that they're going to sell a shit ton.
Yeah, and this is a bad example because we talked about how Wade's coming back in a few months, but like it's not like the day when you had Grant Morrison, Mark Waid, Dan Jurgens, Levitz, like all like top tier, best of all time creators. And
right. Yeah, that's true.
I'll be interested to see what DC's future is. I mean, they do have one top tier creator. I'm sorry, they have Stephanie Phillips.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, Stephanie. Yeah.
Love you, Stephanie. But it does seem like they're kind of resetting the ball. Like it's almost like I've been doing this too much. I think it's because it's football season and I'm getting into it, but. It's almost like you're the Miami Dolphins a few years back, and it's like, okay, it's time to rebuild. So let's acquire some draft picks. We'll bring in some newcomers, and we'll build up. And in a few years, we'll be ready to do it. And like now, it's the year. It's like, is Miami going to be the team? Is Tua the guy? Is Stephanie the person to lead the charge? Is Philip Kennedy Johnson the person? Or so.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, it's so funny because we're like, they don't have anybody, but these names that we mentioned are up in newcomers, quote unquote, but they're all killing it. You know what I mean? So maybe they were just like, we don't need them.
They're great creators. They're people I love, but I'm just like, it's not like I don't want to say Bendis.
But like, maybe even DC realized that, like you said, the contracts are expensive, but they're like, we have some great shit being put out right now, and we don't need those contracts right now. Like, this is what people are reading.
There could be other stuff to it too. Like there's a big conversation in the world right now about paying creators their fair share.
Right.
And we won't get too much into that, but like maybe someone in high ups like, well, like we bring this person who is doing like indie stuff and like they're going to want to prove themselves. So they'll give us their A game. Where like Mark Waid isn't going to give us their A game.
Yeah.
Like Mark Waid's going to do his stuff over here and then he's going to make $1 billion off of it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then he's going to leave for another few years.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's talk.
Interesting.
With that, let's talk about what we read this week. I've caught up on Fantastic Four Life Story. This is the '80s era, which a lot of stuff happening because this is like the whole Cold War era, like missiles being fired. Kind of weird that the Invisible Woman has a relationship with Namor. And then there's like a whole big fight and Johnny Storm dies, which was a whole thing. I'm learning a lot about the Fantastic Four. I never knew all this stuff, so
it's kind of the point.
yeah. No, I mean this Life Story book's doing its thing. Superman: The Authority, number 2 of 4. This is the Grant Morrison book. Where Superman is working with the British guy, I cannot remember his name, but they're putting together a team of, it's Manchester Black. They're putting together a team of villains, and not mostly villains, but some heroes as well to help out with. And this is such a Grant Morrison issue. I don't know did you read it?
No, I still haven't gotten into that one.
So. We get a glimpse of like people he's recruiting, and one of them is Steel's daughter, who has a like a cybernetic suit like Steel does, but she's fighting some like there's threats materializing from data space, okay, and it's called Internet Made Manifest. So the things she's fighting, okay, like literal trolls, because internet trolls, okay, and then these dudes show up. Behold, edgelords eternal. So they're edgelords that are eternal. This is such a Grant Morrison thing, and so now these 3 edgelords are like, girls can't be superheroes, especially silver-skinned girls. Disagree, and naked pictures go to granny, boss, blah blah blah. And it's like these edgelords like on a forum, like screaming about women in power. It's like they're fighting a woman superhero. It's ridiculous. So we get a glimpse of her. She's joining the team, obviously. And then we have the Apollo from Midnighter and Apollo is going to join the team. But the way they introduce them, they do all these sub stories, and this one is called Apollo and the Midnighter Are Hard, which is
okay.
Which is a joke because we know that they're in a relationship with each other. Everybody, so they're basically fighting this villain in the desert, and Apollo keeps reminding the Midnighter that it's like, oh, it's our anniversary, blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, I remember. I got your gift. I got you is you're going to be on a team with Superman. And he's like, oh my god, that's the best. And so you have Apollo and Midnighter, and then we have June. What's her name? June Moon is the Enchantress, right? She's going to be part of the team. So there's like this weird ragtag of people they're putting together to help out Superman. And the next issue, Superman and the Authority are going to hell. So I don't know who else they're recruiting, but it's an interesting team that Grant Morrison's putting together. I don't know how he's going to wrap this up in 4 issues, so we'll see. It's I like it so far, though. You know how Grant Morrison is, though. Jupiter's Legacy, Requiem. This was issue 3, I believe. Basically, one of the heroes goes to another world and talks to these other heroes and said, yeah, like our planet was given powers just like Earth was, kind of in a different way, though. Like, you guys went to a mountain and they went somewhere. But there's also a villain that's part of that world. Like, and they're pretty cool looking. They look like Vikings almost, and they live like on this like frost planet. And they find out that the Earth is weak and their defenses are poor. Like, they're a fairly new system with heroes, so I think they're gonna go down there and try to kill Earth. So you have that happening. Like, we finally found like Jupiter's Legacy has finally become like a, more of a sci-fi story now. But also this this issue follows around Skyfox and how he is kind of like down and out and needs money. So like he's just been like partying it up, and he wakes up like he'd hooked up with this woman, and so he wakes up the next day and this kid is like playing video games, eating Cheetos, and that's her son. And he basically says like, okay, he's like feels bad for the kid because the mom is like a deadbeat. And he's like, you're just going to play video games and eat Cheetos all day? He goes, yeah. So he brings him like to a carnival, and the kid's like, oh, this is awesome. And then he leaves them and he goes to like this meeting because he's trying to make money. So he's like been working with these criminals. And then by the end of the day, he's like, oh shit, I forgot about the kid. And so he goes back for the kid, and the kid's like, he brings him back to the house. The mom is still like passed out for the day. And he's like, wow, this is really fucking sad. So he's like, why don't you just make me your sidekick? And he's like, you know what? Why the hell not? So he pretty much gets this little kid to be like his young ward. And he's not a good role model at all. Like, he's, completely like a bum and like a scumbag and like trying to like make, ends meet. Basically he's trying to find jobs with criminals where he goes along with them with that teleporting device he has. And they don't want him to go along. They just want the teleporting device, but he won't give it up. So, another great issue. Beyond Breach, number 2, Beyond the Breach. This is the book about where, this girl is driving to get away from her recent breakup and enters this new world. This is Ed Brisson, Damian Cuchero on the art. The art's amazing. This is an Aftershock book. basically they're fighting this giant like monster, and this old knight shows up and saves them. It sounds like, and he's like riding this giant tortoise, which is pretty awesome. But he says that he's from another world too. So now we have like 3 different worlds in the mix that we don't know. And then by the end of the issue, these like sci-fi like futuristic people show up, and they seem like they're from another world too. So it's a lot of these different worlds are like colliding for some reason in this one area. In like different genres of like, you have monsters, you have like this knight riding a giant tortoise, you know, like fantasy, and now you have like sci-fi coming together. Pretty interesting so far. Are you reading Batman Catwoman?
Yes, but I didn't get to the issue.
It's okay. I think the highlight of the issue is old Catwoman puts on a costume and fights with her daughter. And then she admits to her that she did kill the Joker.
Is that issue 6?
I'll tell you. Issue 6, yep.
Yeah.
Shazam, issue 2. So we know Shazam's down in hell. And he's been here before. Basically, they need to find the Rock of Eternity. They get, like, hell is like a giant Las Vegas, pretty much, which is just kind of funny. And the head of the casino, like, knows where it is. So there's this big fight with Shazam and this demon. And then the guy that brought him down there, come to find out, his name's Nevermore, and he's actually the son of the Underlord. And he's, like, heir to the Dark Realm. So he's got a little more explaining to do than just being, you know, some person that was part of the Titans Academy. So that's how he got Shazam down to hell in the first place. It's a really cool book. Snow Angels, Season 2, Issue 3. Basically, you know, there's a giant trench in this village they found. The snowman actually follows the 2 kids down there, and one of the sisters, the older sister, starts fighting with them to hold them back. And the younger sister, she tells her to go along, and run away. So she runs away while the other sister is fighting the snowman robot thing. And meanwhile, while they're walking through the cave, we do see a dead giant Colden one they talk about. So it looks like this giant like alien thing that's sitting there. So they did exist. We just don't know what they were. Then you have Radiant Black, the newest issue.
Number 7. Good issue.
Great issue. We get another Radiant Hero thing with like a Darksaber, which is pretty cool. This book is just awesome. So a huge fight scene with all the Power Rangers, you know, assembled. But obviously they still have some issues to settle between like the red one being, you know, stealing and putting Radiant Black's friend in the hospital. And then this crazy shit happens where the Radiant Pink, I guess we'll call her, accidentally teleports them to the middle of space as they're trying to get away from this new villain, and there's this huge like sci-fi war going on between these 2 alien races and like robots, and they're like, oh, this probably isn't the place we want to be, so they get them out of there and lands them in Russia. And then the Radiant Red and the Radiant Yellow find the villain has like cracked his helmet and crashed into the ground trying to attack the other one. So they're going to try to figure out who it is. I thought it was a great issue, though.
Yeah, loved it.
And that's what I had this week.
So I'll try to be quick, but some free comic book day issues I got to pick up.
Oh, nice.
First, both Marvel. First is Avengers / Hulk. And for one, I think everybody out there should grab these. If you're on Comixology, they're free as well. The Avengers one is going to take place during the 50th issue, which I believe is also the 750th issue. And it's Jason Aaron. It's a new story arc. He's going across the multiverse to create a new Masters of Evil that's destroying universe after universe and coming for ours. I know it sounds familiar, but I don't care. It's awesome. And then the backup of it is the introduction to Donny Cates and Ryan Otley's Hulk. And it's just Hulk fights MODOK.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
MODOK creates this giant Hulk Buster armor. And it's a quick fight just to give you the idea of like what they're doing. And then it ends where I think the next or the first issue will begin, which is with Hulk going somewhere that's going to really determine the direction of the series. Spider-Man and Venom free comic book day. So I started to read the Spider-Man one, and then I realized it was about the Ben Reilly story, and I was like, I don't care about this, so I moved on. I'm just going to be real with everybody here. But then the backup was the Venom story, which is Ram V and Al Ewing, them taking over the book. And it's really good. So we got little moments with Dylan, now that he's taking over as Spider-Man, or I'm sorry, as Venom, and how he's kind of dealing with things and dealing with the fact that he has the Venom symbiote. And then we get a little moment with Eddie as he tries to communicate with these other symbiotes across the galaxy to take care of an issue. And it does like quick teases for what we can expect. It was pretty good. The art was phenomenal. I look forward to that series too. And then we already talked about Radiant Black. It was awesome. Moon Knight #2. Moon Knight fights more vampires. It's a lot of fun. It's on the ground superhero stuff with vampires involved. And we get kind of a little bit more of a clue of who this new villain's going to be. This other god, or other acolyte of Khonshu. And we also get like a glimpse into Moon Knight's powers and how like gods affect his brain and what he's able to do with that, because he fights this guy who can kind of take over people's minds and turn them into his puppets. So it's a really good issue. Really liked it. And this too, it's only 2 issues now, but Jed McKay's done a great job in both issues. One and done issues. It does have a thread line that goes through, but you could literally jump in on either issue and know what's going on. Okay. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal #4. Really good issue. Marjorie's in jail. She gets out of jail. How does she get out of jail? She finds an old friend who happens to be a cyborg velociraptor that she ran a class time with. Amazing. This book's crazy and awesome, and I love it. Everybody check it out. And then my final one is Guardians of the Galaxy #17, which is continuing the Annihilation story arc, where we find out what Dormammu's plan is. And his plan is to take over 5 planets and create a giant pentagram in space, in which he will come out of. And then we also find out that at one point, Galactus just gave Mogo... No, not Mogo. That's DC. Ego, the living planet, gave him some of his powers so that he could create a body for himself. And we also know that Dormammu has started to take over Ego, so we find a fucking Galactus-size Dormammu come through a portal at the end of the issue. Which,
of course, why not?
Probably not good things, you know?
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's a really awesome series. And that's all I read this week. I did read a shitload of Star Wars because I was like 20 issues behind. And it's fucking crazy Star Wars with Boba Fett involved.
Pew, pew, pew. That's the description.
Exactly. I love it. So, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
Well, they can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, and they can also find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Or at FortressComicNews.com, where everything we do is right there on that handy-dandy website. Remember, everybody, to give us the 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you use, and to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube channel. So I want to thank you all so much for listening. And Mike will be here next week to talk to you, but actually this Wednesday I am talking to another creator, and that'll be up for you all to listen to. So we'll see you all then.